How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the best budget players to have for a no money spent team. Recently the PlayStation Store has come out with a sale for a lot of games, and MLB The Show 19 is selling for about $40. So if you recently picked the game up and you don't really have a lot of stubs, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on stubs, I am going to be talking about some of the best budget players to go after. And the first person I'm going to be talking about is your creative player. I think regardless of how realistic you think the creative player is in Diamond Dynasty, I think it's an essential piece to have on a no money spent team, because you can have a creative player at a variety of positions. You can only start one creative player, and this is the base version of the catcher, the power focused Diamond 89 overall catcher. And then this, with the equipment that you get for free along playing the game throughout the XP reward path, and you can buy some of these equipment items on the market for fairly cheap, you can actually make your creative player one of the best cards in the game. And I also have a video on that, the best build for your creative player. There really isn't a best build for your creative player, it's really personal preference. So I'm also going to include all of the equipment and the stats after the equipment is added for this creative player. But I think that this card allows for a versatility for the rest of your team, and it really allows you to kind of create your own guy. You can edit the batting stance, you can create your own player, whoever you want. My guy's name is Pablo Sanchez. I was a big fan of backyard baseball, and Pablo Sanchez could play everywhere, and that's kind of what the creative player is allowed to do, is play everywhere on the field. You can have one at each position, you can have a pitcher as well, but this is the catcher creative player after the equipment is applied. And I did spend quite a few stubs on my creative player, but some of the items I got for free as well through the XP reward path. One thing I'm going to talk about in this video is no cards that are high diamond packs from that XP reward path will be included in this video. I will have some special edition diamonds, but this is a contact focus at a shortstop. That's another great option for a creative player. I wanted to talk a little bit about that as well. I'm going to be going after one myself. But the first guy I'm going to talk about in the first couple cards of this video is going to be the free cards that you can get through grinding out the Sony partner missions, like this Nick Senzel for completing Paul Sporer's missions. Some of these cards are going to be free. Some of them you can unlock through Conquest, and these cards are very good. I mean, that Nick Senzel is a good utility guy. He plays everywhere. Ken Griffey Jr. is a solid center fielder. You get this card from completing Clutch's moments, and a lot of these cards are good. I mean, 88 overall diamonds are tough to come by. I mean, they're not really as tough this year because with the special edition diamonds, but in years past, diamond cards were hard to get, and you can really build up a pretty good team by just completing some of these missions, moments, and really not spending any money, just unlocking these diamond cards. This Cliff Lee I've used sparingly. He's pretty good, 90 overall starting pitcher through completing Shelfie's moments. I really like the way that they implemented these cards. Here's a free Willie Mays that really hits lefties really well. I mean, this card's even usable as a pinch hitter against lefties on Legend with that 89 vision, 98 contact, and 73 power. He also plays really good fielding for you, a gold fielder out there in center field with great reaction and good speed. Definitely a good budget player. This Ty Cobb is usable on Legend difficulty. The majority of the cards I'm going to be talking about in this video are mainly for all-star difficulty. A few of the cards will be able to be used effectively on Hall of Fame, but I wanted to focus mainly on some of these free cards from Conquest, like that Ty Cobb. I also made a video regarding how you unlock that Ty Cobb. It's pretty easy to do. You can almost do it in one day if you dedicate a few hours of time to Conquest. You can also get this Jackie Robinson through Conquest, a really good budget pinch hitter, budget pinch runner for free. This Hal Newhouser is a great lefty with like no control, but if you know how to pitch with them, and if you're just trying to get used to this game, this might be a good pitcher to practice with. You might be a little bit wild, but with those per nines, and what I mean by per nines are the hits per nine, Ks per nine, home runs per nine, and the clutch attribute is important as well. This Reggie Jackson is a really good card. These next few cards are going to be about 5,000 stubs, solid diamonds for about 5,000 to 6,000, maybe even 7K. They're pretty good budget players, and you can't really pass these guys up, in my opinion. Some of these cards you can even get for free throughout the program so far. But that Reggie Jackson's solid. This Matt Chapman is a card that recently went diamond. He started off as a gold live series player, and because he's been doing well the last couple years, he got upgraded to an 85. He's actually playing down on inside edge right now, so he's playing down with today's matchup to an 83, but he's definitely a good card. This next card, Jason Giambi, there is a better version throughout the XP reward path, but this card, for an 85 overall, he's a great budget player, about 5,000 subs for this first baseman as well. Not the best fielder, but he does get the job done versus right-handed pitching. This Carlos Gomez is a great budget center fielder to get. Has really good speed, decent fielding, and he crushes lefties. He has a really nice swing as well in this game. One of the better cards I used on All-Star difficulty when I was first playing in Season 1 of this year's game cycle. I used that card quite a bit, and he was really effective. A really good center fielder for me. But this A.J. Pollock is another budget card to get. A really good all-around player. Probably would be better on Hall of Fame and Legend difficulty because he does have good vision, good contact. The power's not really there, but he does have good fielding and decent speed. So another card I wanted to include is there aren't that many great budget catchers to get. Pablo Sandoval does play third base as a primary, but he's not bad behind the dish. I would probably use this card behind the dish as a switch-hitting catcher if I didn't have a creative player and I didn't have some Signature Series cards on my team, if that makes sense. But this Anthony Rizzo also got upgraded, went to a diamond overall. The last roster update. Solid card versus righties especially, and he can still hit it a little bit versus lefties with that 81 vision and the decent contact and power. Not the best card, but definitely a budget first baseman for about 5,000 stubs, 6K. Trevor Story is probably the best shortstop. That's a gold in this game. I would definitely use this card. He plays second and third base as well. Good variety of positions there. Solid player. Could also get upgraded to a diamond. This Ken Griffey Sr. is a high contact player with high vision, also has good speed, and does play silver fielding out there for you in right field. Not a bad card. The next few cards I'm going to be talking about are some budget bullpen guys to use. There aren't that many great bullpen pitchers that are budget pitchers, but to be honest with you, there aren't that many great high overall diamond relievers either, unless you do some of the collections and get some of the team affinities done. But that AJ Ramos is solid, 5-pitch repertoire, has kind of a glitchy motion. This Roberto Osuna is a must-have. I still use this card on my Diamond Dynasty team, even though I have like a 94 overall team. Some of the cards that I've received in my bullpen are free or through programs as well, but I definitely like that Osuna. This Johnny Venters is the best gold pitcher in the game. In my opinion, he's the best lefty gold pitcher, probably the best gold in general, but because the lefty relievers are so thin this year, you have to have that card. At least have him, even if he's not on your rotation or in your bullpen, at least have that card because he's going to be usable in events. This Matt Bush is another good card. This is probably going to be the best Matt Bush we see as well. He's not going to get a better card. That was probably his best year of his career. Now that Andrew Miller got downgraded to a gold card, he's definitely a budget lefty to get. He's about 5,000 stubs still, but his price will continue to go down, especially if he stays a gold. Definitely a solid lefty reliever. This Cecil is another good card to get. 84 overall gold relief pitcher. This is a card from the Blue Jays collection. The Blue Jays collection isn't the cheapest because of some of the commons and bronze cards that they have sometimes go for quite a bit amount of stubs, but if you can get that card for a cheap price, then he's definitely a good budget card. Same thing with this Orioles Jonathan Scope, a solid diamond hitter. He plays really well. He has a really good swing, and he's got 90 arm strength as well, so not the best fielder, but his arm strength makes up for it. Gary Sanchez is another great budget catcher. If you don't want to get somebody like Jason Kendall, who I didn't include in this video, I will be including Buster Posey. If you didn't want to get someone like that, like those guys, maybe Yasmani Grandal, I also didn't include. But Gary Sanchez seems to be somebody that everybody does well with and has a lot of power, so I included him in this one. Same thing with Mark Reynolds, really low vision and would not be usable on the harder difficulties like Hall of Fame and Legend. But for All-Star difficulty, if you're just starting out with ranked seasons, that's definitely a card you might want to get through the Diamondbacks collection. Similar thing here with Gallo, really high power guy with low vision, wouldn't be really usable unless you're experienced MLB The Show player on Legend difficulty. It'd be really tough to use that card. Willie McCovey is the only silver card that I have in this video. He's one of the cards that you can get throughout the XP reward path through one of those bronze and silver packs. Really good bench bat, would be one of the only silver cards I would use from that pack. And I wanted to include him as a bench lefty because there aren't too many great budget lefties that you can go to for bench hitters. But anyway, this Yoenis Cespedes is a solid balanced card. Goes for about 3,000 stubs and was going for around 1,800 when he first came out. So he kind of doubled up in price. That usually means that the card is pretty good, similar to what Johnny Venters did. He was about 1,000 stubs and he doubled up or even tripled up to 3K. David Peralta is a great left fielder with a solid bat versus right-handed pitching. I mean, he plays up against righties on inside edge quite often and has over 100 contact in the 80s for power, so solid player there for David Peralta. This is the Buster Posey, the special edition Diamond Buster Posey. solid budget catcher. The times that I've faced this card, he's done really well against me. And if you don't have the 99 Signature Series Tony Gwynn, I wanted to include this card in here as well. Solid player, hits just like the Signature Series Tony Gwynn without the very high clutch attribute, but the other stats are pretty similar. And same thing with this Chipper Jones. I mean, there should be a Signature Series Chipper Jones coming out, but this is a great card for about 8,000 stubs. Not the best fielder, might even cost you about 9 to 10K, but still one of the best pinch hitters in the game. Solid switch hitter. This Barry Larkin's kind of a budget Jose Reyes. Without the switch hitting ability, obviously has gold fielding and solid speed, great vision at 116, and solid contact versus both. Definitely a glitchy swing as well. Barry Larkin should get a Signature Series card later on, but definitely that card, that version, the breakout one, is a budget card. This Francisco Liriano is a great lefty to have. I mean, 6K stubs for this lefty, solid per nines, doesn't really have the best control. But for another 8,000 subs, you can get Tom Seaver. A lot of these cards are special edition diamond, so they are free throughout the XP reward path. But these are cards that I started out with on my team when the game first came out. I definitely overpaid. They're going for about half price now. And this Roy Oswalt was probably my best pitcher when I first played this game. This Roy Oswalt was definitely a really good budget pitcher for me. The thing about him is his low home runs per nine, but if you're able to pitch well with him, he's effective on all-star difficulty and can get the job done for you as even an ace early on in the game, or whenever you do get the game. So the next few cards are a little bit more expensive. This Stanton is going for about 20,000 stubs when he's playing down on inside edge. A really good card to flip on the market. When he's playing up, he goes for about 28,000, sometimes 30K, so you can make quite a bit amount of stubs with that. The other card I wanted to include is Andre Dawson, a card that has done really well against me as well. I haven't really tried this card out too much, but Andre Dawson has been really good in years past, and he is going for about 20K, similar to Stanton, and he's a solid outfielder. So I wanted to include a couple other guys that I thought were pretty good. But this is kind of a team that I built, a batting order and everything. I didn't really mess with the order too much, but a solid team that I built right there. A couple other honorable mention cards that I wanted to talk about in this one would be like Josh Donaldson, the live series version, the live series of Ronald Acuna. Cody Bellinger would be another card that would be really good for a cheap budget diamond. That's like 20K. There's plenty of cards that you can find, and it's really just which cards work best for you. I mean, Lorenzo Cain might be a good gold outfielder. There's a ton of budget players that you can use, but I just wanted to focus on these guys and build kind of a team with some of the cards that I thought would be good to have a budget team with. And I did use some of these cards in my pursuit of World Series the first season, and I was successful. So I definitely know that these cards are usable and they're good. When you're going up against guys that have all Signature Series teams, it's going to be tough. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. I'm College Lefty, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.